Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we are breaking down Garrett Monroe's incredibly practical guide, the only living trusts book you'll ever need. In this explainer, we're going to totally strip away all that confusing legal jargon and give you a crystal clear, highly actionable roadmap to protect your family's legacy. Imagine a truly painful scenario for a second. A loved one has just passed away, but instead of the family grieving together at home, they're sitting in some cold, sterile courthouse. Complete strangers and a judge who doesn't know you at all are deciding when, how, and even if your family gets the assets meant for them. So why on earth does this happen? Well, it all comes down to a lack of planning. That agonizing courthouse scenario, it's called probate. Probate is basically the court-supervised process of validating a will and carrying out its terms. And here is the harsh reality that most people just don't realize. If you only have a will, your estate is guaranteed to go through probate. And guess what? Probate is completely public. That means your family's private financial affairs, beneficiary names, and any messy family disputes literally become a matter of public record for anyone to read. Plus, it's notoriously slow. We're talking about tying up your family's assets for months or sometimes even years. And if the total lack of privacy and massive delays weren't enough, let's talk about the cost, because it is staggering. Probate is incredibly expensive. Legal fees are often calculated as a percentage of the estate's gross value. So let's do the math on a fairly modest $500,000 estate. That might just be a house and a small retirement account. Probate fees can easily take 4% of the first $100,000 and 3% of the next. That means a modest estate could easily lose $15,000 or more straight to the court and attorney fees. That is just your hard-earned wealth vanishing into thin air. And this brilliantly illustrates the fundamental difference between the two main estate planning tools. A will is essentially a one-way ticket straight to probate court. A properly funded living trust, on the other hand, avoids the court system entirely. It remains completely private. That means distributions happen around the kitchen table, not in a courtroom. Your legacy passes quietly, quickly, and directly to the people you actually love. So what exactly is this tool? How does it work? Well, Garrett Monroe uses a fantastic, really concrete metaphor in the book. A living trust is basically a legal bucket. When you create the trust, you place your assets, your house, your bank accounts, your investments, right into the bucket. And while you're alive, you hold the handle. You control absolutely everything in that bucket, and you can change the rules at any time. When you pass away, the bucket doesn't spill. It simply gets handed to a new manager that you previously selected, and they instantly distribute what's inside. To understand how this all works, we need to meet the 4 key players in a trust. First up is the grantor. That's the person who creates the trust. Second is the trustee, the person actually managing the assets. Third is the beneficiary. Now, here is the absolute best part. During your lifetime, you are all 3. You create it, you manage it, and you benefit from it. You retain absolute control over the whole shebang. The 4th role is the successor trustee, which is simply the trusted person you name to seamlessly take over the bucket if you ever become incapacitated or pass away. Now, there are 2 main types of trusts you really need to know about: revocable and irrevocable. A revocable living trust is exactly what most everyday people need. It offers total flexibility. You can change your mind, rewrite the whole thing, or just cancel it entirely. But because you maintain all that control, it doesn't shield your assets from your personal creditors. An irrevocable trust, however, is permanent. Once it's set, you generally cannot change it. But in exchange for giving up that control, it offers some really specific tax reduction benefits and strict protection from creditors. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how easily we can dismantle the excuses that keep everyday homeowners and parents from protecting their families. Myth number 1, it's only for the wealthy. Absolutely false. If you own a home or have minor children, you need one. Myth number 2, it costs too much. False again. Doing it yourself with software is maybe $100 to $300, and hiring an attorney might be $1,000 to $3,000. Compare that to losing $15,000 in probate. We also have to be realistic here. A revocable living trust won't magically protect you from your own creditors, and no, it won't erase your personal income taxes while you're alive. You still report income on your personal return. So the crucial point is, well, it's actually the most important sentence in this entire explainer. An unfunded trust is useless. I mean, you can spend the money, work with the best attorney in town, and sign the most beautifully drafted trust document in the world. But if you just stick it in a drawer and do nothing else, it does absolutely zero to protect your family. A piece of paper all by itself does not avoid probate. The dramatic twist here is that you have to take one final critical step: and it's called funding. Funding basically means legally transferring the ownership of your assets from your individual name into the name of the trust. Remember our bucket metaphor? Signing the legal paper just builds the bucket. Funding is the act of actually picking up your assets and dropping them inside. This is literally the fatal flaw most people make. They build this great bucket but leave it totally empty, which means your assets are still sitting out in the open, destined for a very public probate. Fortunately, funding is entirely doable. You just have to be systematic about it, taking it step by step. For real estate, you simply file a new deed in the trust's name. For bank and investment accounts, you just have your financial institutions retitle them or update the registration. It's really that straightforward. And for life insurance, you just name the trust as the beneficiary. Sure, it requires a little bit of paperwork, but it is completely within your capabilities to get this done. But you do need to watch out for a few really common pitfalls. First is partial funding. Moving the house into the trust, but totally forgetting the savings account. Second is improper titling, where the bank uses the wrong legal language. You also got to watch out for after-acquired property. This is when you buy a new house years later and just forget to put it in the bucket. Finally, please do not rely entirely on a pour-over will. A pour-over will is just a backup safety net that catches forgotten assets, but any of those caught assets still have to go through the whole public probate process first. Garrett Monroe also introduces a fascinating modern necessity in the book, digital assets. Our wealth isn't just sitting in brick-and-mortar banks anymore, right? It's in cryptocurrency, NFTs, monetized social media accounts, and cloud storage like Google Drive or iCloud. Heck, even frequent flyer and rewards points. You absolutely must create a secure digital inventory and appoint a tech-savvy digital executor so all of this modern wealth isn't permanently lost behind two-factor authentication. Let's move to and see how this builds. Living trusts aren't just one-size-fits-all. They offer some incredibly customized protection. For example, if you have a blended family, a trust ensures that children from a first marriage aren't accidentally disinherited. If you own real estate in multiple states, a single trust saves your family from having to go through probate in every single one of those states. And maybe most importantly, if you have a dependent with a permanent disability, a customized special trust can provide for them financially without disqualifying them from crucial government assistance. It's a real game changer. Now, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now, don't worry. The book lays out a highly achievable 30-day living trust challenge to shift you from anxious avoidance straight into immediate action. Week 1, just make a list of everything you own. Take an inventory. Week 2, make those tough decisions by picking your successor trustee, beneficiaries, and guardians. Week 3, actually create the document, either through software or an attorney. And Week 4, fund it. Transfer those assets and retitle those accounts. Just tackle it 1 week at a time. It's totally doable. At the end of the day, creating a living trust is a profound act of love. By taking these steps, you're actively sparing your family from the financial burden, the public scrutiny, and the massive delays of the court system. You are giving them the ultimate gift of peace of mind. So ask yourself, when you are no longer here to hold the handle of the bucket, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Start your 30-day challenge today.